log back in, please, using the same Zoom link that you use for the service. And Mary Lee and Leah Case will get you checked in, and we'll get things underway. Thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to explain a little something about Share the Plate this month. We were expecting the young woman who runs and founded Life is Worth It to be here last week, and she wasn't because she had a very unexpected death in her family. Then she was going to come today, but today is the funeral. So I just wanted to let you all know she will be here next week. And just a quick reminder, she's a very powerful person. At 15, after suffering bullying and social media harassment and stalking, she attempted suicide. She survived, and she's now not that old herself. I think she's not even 30, but she founded this organization, the mission of which is to educate youth and communities and parents of total life wellness as a means to prevent suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts and suicide in young people. So she'll have a lot more to say next week when she's here, and I just wanted to give a shout out for her. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Rosalind Bedell, Chair of the Social Justice Committee, and I just wanted to let you all know that this Friday, June 14th, we have a social justice movie. The Social Justice Committee is hoping to have a social justice movie approximately once a quarter. And the first one we had, I think was in March, and that was put on by Gaia Brown and Lloyd Rogers in conjunction with UUSC, and it was Sharp's War, Defying the Nazis, and I know there was a great turnout for that one. So this time, on Friday, we are having a movie about refugees. It's called The Good Lie, and it's about refugees from Sudan in Africa in the 1980s. When there was a terrible conflict. Again, sadly, there's a terrible conflict there now. Anyway, these refugees came to the United States, and it's about their adjustment to life in the US and the cultural problems they encounter because life is so different here from what they came from. So it's a hard movie initially, and then it's funny and interesting, and then ultimately touching. So I hope many of you will be able to come. It's 5:30 in the Star King Room. Next Friday, June 14th, we will be serving refreshments, soft drinks, but if you would like to bring your own wine or beer, that's fine. And we'll have some food. So, and it begins at 5:30, so you should be able to get home well before it's dark, for those of you who don't like to drive in the dark. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
I just had to add one piece that I don't think I told Rosalind about, but our entire family from the Congo, who we mentored for years, are going to show up Friday. So they'll be there to answer questions. They're wonderful, amazing people, and the whole family's coming, even though one of them's birthday is that day. So I appreciate that.
And now, please take a moment to greet one another in whatever manner you feel is comfortable.
Good morning. My name is Nathan Bakken. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the Director of Faith Exploration here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada. And I might be daring to say that I believe it is a very good morning. It is beautiful out. Flower Communion is possibly my favorite Sunday of the year. And it's my favorite for a couple reasons. We gather today to celebrate one of Unitarian Universalism's most beloved services and rituals. Created by Reverend Norbert Čabek for his Unitarian community in Czechoslovakia in 1923, Flower Communion was designed so that all people may be included and brought into community without the pressure of conforming to Christian expressions of the sacred. He chose the flower as the symbol because he wanted to emphasize individual uniqueness. Each flower represents different colors, different scents, different ways of being. And he chose the flower because of the collective beauty of the garden. He invited his community to come together to see themselves as flowers and to see them together as a garden. So I will invite Chris Pekars up to light our chalice, and as he does so, I will read the Flower Communion prayer by the Reverend Norbert Čabek. In the name of Providence, which implants in the seed the future of the flower, and in our hearts the longing for people to live in harmony. In the name of the highest, in whom we move, and who makes the mother, the father, and the parent, the brother, the sister, and the sibling, the lover and the loner, what they are. In the same of sages and great religious leaders who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming age of mutual respect, let us renew our resolution sincerely to be real community regardless of any kind of bar which estranges us from one another. In this holy resolve, may we be strengthened knowing that we are the divine's community, the beloved's community. That one spirit, the spirit of love, unites us and endeavor for a more perfect and more joyful life. Amen. And I invite us all to rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 305, De Coloris.
Hello. Before we begin, I would just like to explain that we are singing the first verse in Spanish. Then after that, we're skipping to the English verse 1 to 3. Thank you so much.
Somos
I don't know if you can tell this, but it's a very special Sunday. And we are shifting things around in our service a little bit. And so we're going to be moving into our time for joys and sorrows and community meditation. I did not receive any joys and sorrows slips, but I do want to invite us all to take this moment and find a posture for prayer and meditation. That might mean resettling in your seat a little bit, placing both feet firm on the ground, feeling the back of your chair push up against your spine. Find your place here. In the words that opened our service, Reverend Chapek said, "It is in the name of the highest in whom we move, who makes the mother and father and parent, the brother and sister and sibling, the lover and loner what they are. In the same of sages and great religious leaders who sacrifice their lives to hasten the coming age of mutual respect." It is in the spirit of that cultivation of mutual respect that we come together in this time to honor our joys and our sorrows. We do not live yet in a world where mutual respect is at the center of our actions. We live in a world where some may arrive here filled with the joy and beauty of the flowers before us, and others arrive and look at these flowers with longing, jealousy, a hope that maybe one day their life will be as beautiful as this. There is no wrong way to arrive in this place. I want to invite us all to take a moment to breathe. Feel the air enter your lungs. Feel the air as it exhales. Invite us to take another breath together. and exhale. And we're going to take one more breath, and on that inhale, I want you to breathe in the spirit of mutual respect. And breathe out compassion for yourself, for those around you, for the world. For this is a place where we can hold the mess, the contradictory, as we too work to build an age of mutual respect. Blessed be. Amen. I'm talking a lot today. In this moment, I want to invite us to just take a moment and stretch. We're moving from a space of meditation into a space of celebration. I have the esteemed privilege to take this moment to honor our beloved office administrator, Carol Sorensen. Yeah. And Carol, I'm going to invite you. You get your own, all the flowers for flower communion. I'm going to invite you to stand right here for a moment. People can be seated. I'm going to just brag for a minute. We are celebrating Carol. We are celebrating her 17 years of service as UUFNN's office administrator. And 17 years ago from 2024 is 2007, and a lot has changed since 2007. And the world has changed outside these walls and in these walls, and Carol has been here as a steady presence through it all. In the world of religious professionals, we know that whether pastoral, community, professional care, most interactions start with our office administrators. It has been a privilege of mine to witness Carol day in and day out meet the needs of this community with understanding, grace, and humor. As her colleague and friend, I am grateful for her creativity, her wisdom, her compassion, and her dedication to make this community and this faith more accessible and inclusive for all people. Carol, behind the scenes, has been a powerful voice advocating for the needs and well-being of our Indigenous siblings, our low-income and working-class siblings, our queer and trans siblings, and our disabled and neurodivergent siblings. Carol has been a powerful voice in thinking of those who are often forgotten. Her dedication to this place and to Unitarian Universalism as a whole is astounding. I am grateful to be able to come into work and have a colleague who is invested in this living tradition, who brings Unitarian and Universalist values and principles into the heart of her work. And a side note to brag, Carol is also about to start her term on the board of the Association of Unitarian Universalist Administrators. She keeps me and many members of this community up to date with resources, courses, and information about our ever-growing faith. I am grateful to be able to offer you these flowers and this amazing card by Lois Bianchi. And in the petals of those flowers are notes of love and appreciation from this beloved community. So I just want to say on behalf of UUFNN, thank you, Carol, for all that you do. And following our service, we will be celebrating Carol out in the gathering room before our annual meeting. So there will be refreshments and dessert. So please be sure to stop by, grab some food, and share your appreciation for Carol. Okay. In the spirit of gratitude and community, I want to take a couple quick polls. How many folks here have been to the Rancho San Rafael Botanical Garden? Raise your hand. How many folks knew there was a meditative garden and a labyrinth just outside their doors? How many folks here know that we have a meditative labyrinth right outside that door? And for people who are sitting here like, what is Nathan talking about? Why is Nathan talking about labyrinths? A labyrinth is a form of embodied contemplation. It's not like the labyrinth of myth. There are no booby traps, there are no minotaurs. Often it is a flat, winding path that leads to a center point. Often in that center point, there's an altar or a statue, a bench, a garden. Our memorial labyrinth has a beautiful tree. And the practice is an invitation to slow down, breathe deeply, and move along the path at your own pace. It's about moving towards the center. Once you move through the twists and turns of the labyrinth, you find yourself in the center, and you get the opportunity for some prayer or contemplation, a moment to stretch, and then you turn around and you walk the same path out. Some people carry a pebble or an object to help them maintain their focus. Others let their attention run free and absorb all the things happening around them as they walk the path of the labyrinth. It is one of my favorite spiritual practices, and in preparation for our service today, I took the time this past week to go out and walk both of our labyrinths here in Reno. I was blessed by both gardens and the abundance of flowers, the butterflies, the sweet fragrances of grasses, and there are beautiful roses up at Ranchero San Rafael, I will have to say. And when I took too big of a sniff, I heard the sound of my sneeze because the pollen hit my sinuses. And as I walked these labyrinths this week, I contemplated these words by the Reverend Maya Chapik, the wife of Norbert, who founded our service. Rev Maya says, "The exchange of flowers means that I shall walk without reservation with anyone, regardless of social status or former religious affiliation, as long as they are ready and willing to go along and search of truth and service." I'm going to repeat that again. The exchange of flowers means that I shall walk without reservation with anyone, regardless of social status or former religious affiliation, as long as they are ready and willing to go along in search of truth and service. Each year when Flower Communion rolls around, I roll around back to that quote. I hold it in tension with Norbert's original vision of Flower Communion, where people from across traditions and without traditions can find belonging and shine in their individual brilliance, and hold it with a place where we look around and say, I believe in love, faith, justice, and joy, and I am moving towards it. Do you want to come with me? Which is to say, we welcome you and celebrate you, and we are going to places and responding to the needs of this world, and you're invited to move at your own pace. That is what came to me when walking the labyrinth. From the outside looking in, a labyrinth doesn't seem all that revolutionary. There's very little instant gratification. For many people, it's boring. it's slow, and in part because it is simply a series of turns towards the center. And then you get to the center, and then it is a series of turns out back towards the world. It's like the act of breathing, in and out, in and out. And yet, moments of in and out are how we regulate our bodies, our emotions. Breathing in and out helps us maintain focus and presence in difficult times. The movements of in and out are the acts that connect us to ourselves and to the world. Our world, our ecosystems, our bodies are moved on practices and movements of return. We look at migration. We look at salmon, fish. We look at those moments. How many people here have a place that they go back to every year? A place that calls to them, that asks them to return. Breathing brings us back to ourselves. It's that invitation of return back to us. Many movements of return are instinctual and involuntary. If you hold your breath, eventually your body will push you to breathe. But practices like the labyrinth are practices rooted in agency and consent. The labyrinth is there, and I get the opportunity to say yes to the path. I have to say yes. I have to enter it. I have to move into that space. And I have an idea of what's at the center when I do. I'm saying yes not to a complete unknown, but I am saying yes to the unknown that will stir up in me through the process of moving through the labyrinth. That is the feeling I experience at the heart of Reverend Maya's words. I shall walk without reservation and with anyone, as long as they are ready and willing to go along in search of truth and service. We move to those who say yes, and we give grace and acceptance to those who say no. These flowers before us represent not just our individual beauty and gifts, but also our shared commitment to one another and to this community and to this faith. The flower communion ritual is our annual opportunity to say yes, to journeying alongside one another as we enter a labyrinth in the search for truth and service. We have an idea of what the end goal is. It's community, it's belonging, it's faith, it's love, justice, joy. But we don't know what will arise in us or each other along the path. And yet, we return every year to flower communion. We return to this ritual and to our yes that the gifts and challenges of living lives as people of faith. We return to the gifts and challenges of being and remaining in communion with one another. These flowers are reminders that we are willing and ready to use our gifts and talents as individuals to cultivate a garden of love, faith, justice, and joy. I have lost a page, so we're going to improvise. In just a few minutes, we're going to be coming up to this altar. We are going to be coming forth to participate in this return to a tradition that grounds us in our heritage, that roots us in belonging with one another. A few weeks ago, during our Mother's Day service, we did a ritual of gathering stones in honor of the nurturing spirits that raised us and tended us and got us to this place. Those stones are now in the vases of all the flowers before you, representing that those who nurture us beyond this place are nurturing the spirits as we nurture each other now. I ask, as we shift into this moment, that you approach this place with quiet reverence, with a sense of how important it is for each of us to meet ourselves and this community in the world with gentleness, mutual respect, justice, and love. I ask that you select a flower different from the one you brought that particularly appeals to you. As you take your chosen flower, I invite you to return to your seat and notice it. Note its shape, its colors. Is there a fragrance? Is there not? Do you have allergies and so you're just going to appreciate the colors from afar? As you take this flower, handle it carefully. It is a gift from someone in this community. It is a gift that someone else has brought to give you, not knowing who was going to be the recipient. It represents that person's unique humanity and therefore deserves your kindest touch. So I invite us now to come forth in reverence and share in this Unitarian Universalist ritual of connection and love. Come forward. invite you now to take a moment to notice the flowers. Notice the color, the texture of the stem and the petals. And I invite you to breathe in and out as I read this blessing over our flowers. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask for blessing on these, little messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversity of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and community and devotion to truth and to service. May they remind us of the value of this community, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of these most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talent discourage us or solely our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the effort of all of us are needed to do the work in this world to bring forth an age of mutual respect. Amen.
This morning, our anthem is We Are One by Brian Tate.
Encore. Now is the time in our service to share our bounty and fertilize our garden. As you know, every month we give a portion of our offerings to our Share the Plate recipient, reflecting our mission to support good works beyond these walls and into our larger community. Lily already introduced our June partner, which is Life is Worth It, a suicide prevention program for teens and young adults. To keep things moving along today, I'll just point out that all your giving options will be on the screen behind me or in your Zoom session. And now, let our offering begin. Please join Evan and myself as we dedicate our offerings. To the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. Thank you.
As we bring our time together to a close, I want to remind folks that there will be refreshments out in the gathering room to celebrate Carol. And in 25 minutes after the service, I invite our members back here for our annual meeting. I want to invite everyone to find a posture that is grounded, that is settled. As I read these words by Deborah Burrell and extinguish our chalice. We have basked in the warmth and the beauty of this flame and of this community. As the chalice flame is extinguished, let us carry its glow within. Let us kindle new sparks within these walls and beyond. And as you leave this place and bring with you your flower, the reminder of this community, what it offers you in beauty and dedication, may you too bring the spirit of life with you as you too move beyond these walls to spark new beginnings. And I invite you to rise as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, Be Ours a Religion, in the Teal Books, number 1058.
No need to worry for that, folks. Only the choir will be singing the closing hymn. Thank you so much.
Pleased to serve the day.